St.PAULI, one of world football's most unique clubs. Although not being known for their success on the field, St.PAULI are a figurehead of social culture and left-wing politics in football. Messages of anti-fascism, anti-racism, anti-homophobia, anti-sexism, these are among the key beliefs held by the von Ladens. The culture of St.PAULI has really interested me during my researching of this video and this club. Especially because part of my family is actually from the city of Hamburg. Yes, I'm part German. But regardless, today we look to finally deliver some success to St.PAULI as we rebuild St.PAULI. G'day guys, how's it going? It is Jared HD here. Welcome back to the rebuilding series here in FIFA 20. Apologies for the lack of uploads across the past few weeks. I lost my voice completely. If you watch my second channel, you would have been up to date with that, but I lost my voice completely. Had to take a little bit of time off, recuperate, and we're good to go now. But if you guys do go on to enjoy today's rebuild with St.PAULI, make sure you leave a like on the video. Also, if you're new around here, bloody scorpion kick that subscribe button down below. If you have not had the pleasure of seeing a rebuild video in the past, here are the rules. So the main objective is to win the UEFA Champions League. Every game in the rebuild is simulated except for the Champions League final. The transfers can be as unrealistic or realistic as we like. There's a big focus on the transfer window. And finally, of course, don't get butthurt if I sell your favorite player. There's the rules, let's get into the rebuild. So this is what our starting 11 looks like here in Season 1 with St.PAULI, of course. We're in the second Bundesliga, the second German division, looking to get out of it, but we're going to have to make some serious improvements to our squad if we want any chance of that happening this season. It's not a great side, not great upsides either, but Rio Miyachi's in there, the former Arsenal man. Our first piece of business in charge of St.PAULI is selling Johannes Flum to Cardiff City for £430,000. We've also sold our Greek striker Dimitri Diamantakos. Apologies if I mispronounced that last name, but pretty certain I got it on point. But anyways, we're selling him to the Turkish league, £960,000. Daniel Bubala is headed to Leeds United. We're getting rid of players left, right, and centre here. £860,000 for the defender. And the next player departure, Jean-Philippe Kalla, headed to Beijing, headed to the Chinese Super League. £320,000, the big bucks. Finally, we have secured the services of a goalkeeper and a signing in general. It is Jasper Schendelaar, the Dutch goalkeeper, joining us from AZ Alkmaar in the Dutch league for £860,000. The transfers are coming thick and fast here. Tyrese Campbell joining us from Stoke City, £1.3 million for the young English striker. Definitely want to see what we can do with this guy throughout this rebuild. Another youngster joining the squad here, Sofiane Diop, the French left midfielder, £1.6 million for him. Again, just like Campbell, I have high hopes for Sofiane Diop, so hopefully it's a successful time at St.PAULI for him. Back to the player departures though. Robin Himmelman is headed to Brentford, £670,000 for him. And Voldemar Sobota is headed to the Polish league, or I don't even know what league that is, to be fair. He's headed to Gimnasia, maybe that's, I'm not even going to speculate what club that is, but he's headed for £950,000. They might be Chilean. In addition to our midfield though, Al Hassan Yusuf, the Nigerian striker, joining us here from Gothenburg in the Swedish league, £1.2 million for his services. A man that I've never used in a rebuild before, so interested to see what these unique sort of signings can do. Getting a bit of German talent into the squad though. Want to get a fair few German players into this St.PAULI side. Regardless though, Felix Agu is coming across for £1.6 million, left back role. Ethan Mpadu, I've signed this guy so many times in rebuilds, but I don't think I've ever had him grow to his max potential. We're going to have time on our side in this rebuild, so I want to see if I can actually turn Mpadu into a club legend and someone that plays the Champions League final for us. Regardless though, he makes the step down from Leipzig for £1.65 million. This is one of the busiest starts to life I've had in a rebuild for a very long time, but We splashed the cash here. Pedro de la Vega, the Argentine, coming across for £4.1 million. So definitely a big sum, but a big talent, that's for sure. So that is the opening transfer window done and dusted here. What a ridiculous transfer window that was. So many players in, so many players out, and now our starting 11 looks completely different to the one we had a matter of moments ago. So I'm very interested to see how we start this season. Oh crap, we're in the relegation battle. Okay, well, scrap the idea I had of potentially pushing for promotion. We need to make sure that we don't fall down into the 3rd division. Oh my god. Back to the drawing board with some player transfers. We have sold Philip Zeris to RB Salzburg for £1 million on the dot. And a £430,000 deal here for Mark Hornshoe. No idea who that is, but he's gone. This is actually a player transfer that I didn't want to happen. We've sold Finn Ole Becker to Querétaro, which I believe is in the Mexican League. I didn't want to sell him, but he wanted out of the club desperately. Our manager rating isn't very healthy right now, so we've sold Becker to the Mexican League. And we've made a defensive addition. Bafode Diakite is linking up with Ethan and Pardew to strengthen our backline. The centre-back duo of dreams. The Frenchman coming across here from Toulouse for £3.8 million. Christopher Avivo is headed to FC Basel for £2.1 million. You guys know that I absolutely love to stir up a little bit of crap in these rebuilds. And there's nothing I love more when there's a really big rivalry to go and snatch one of the best players from those rival clubs. And I've done that again here with St.PAULI. We have brought in Joshua Wagnermann, the young German defensive wonder kid from Hamburg. He won't even have to change apartments or houses. He can literally just come to St.PAULI in the same city. What a steal. I'm sorry, Hamburg. So there it is, a pretty busy January transfer window. Diakite in, Wagnermann in, and then 4 players out. The big question though, do we survive relegation? Let's go find out that answer. Just a little heads up as well, the release clause was paid here for Ziher. I wanted to offer him a new contract. He wanted out desperately, so he's going to be going to Gamba Osaka in the Japanese league for £900,000 at the start of the next transfer window. Get in there, lads! We have survived the relegation battle by 2 points. Osnabrück and Kiel automatically going down with Firth playing in that playoff game. We finish in 15th on 27 points, but then you look up the table, Karlsruhe and Regensburg just ahead of us, so it was a very tight battle down the bottom half. But at the top half, Hanover and Hamburg automatically going up, with Heidenheim having to play it out in the relegation match. Leverkusen have been crowned DFB Pokal champions. Freiburg have won the relegation/promotion game 3-0 on aggregate, so Heidenheim stay in the 2nd division. And Firth are staying in the 2nd division as well. Barcelona win the Champions League, and Borussia Dortmund getting it done for the Germans, winning the Europa League. So that is season number 1 done and dusted here at St. Pauli. A tough start, but we've built the foundations, which you guys know I definitely love to do when it comes to the first few seasons. So let's see if it can be a more positive second season. Season 2 beginning with a player departure. What a shock there, but Enrico Benatelli headed to Cardiff City for $660,000. A massive addition to our starting 11 though. I've wanted to sign this guy for a little while now. Adil Aouchichi, I've definitely mispronunciated his last name, but the French wonder kid joining us for £1.9 million from PSG. Sven, I should say Brodersen, that's more Swedish than German, but he's headed to Beijing. And Marvin Noel is headed to Besiktas here for £2.2 million. Some more young German talent joining our side at St. Pauli. Jan Fiet Arp is signing from Bayern Munich for £3.4 million. Again, another player that I've used here and there, but never really got to the end of a career mode with, so I want to turn this kid into a weapon. Splashing the cash on a new goalkeeper, however, we need a big improvement in between the sticks if we're any chance of pushing for promotion. So, Florian Müller is coming from Mainz for 8.1 million. Definitely a much calmer transfer window than last season's opening window, but it's still a pretty busy window. Some big name players in. Are they going to help us on the potential push to promotion? Hopefully it's a potential push. I don't want to be in the relegation battle again. Just a quick little look at the squad because I know you guys have wanted me to keep you updated. It's definitely growing and definitely looking much better than what we started with. Oh, you love to see it. This time last year, we were in the relegation playoff match. Now, 12 months later, we find ourselves top of the Bundesliga 2 with 40 points, 2 points ahead of Stuttgart, 4 points ahead of Heidenheim and Bielefeld. So hopefully we carry on our good form in the second half of the season. I didn't want to sell this guy, but he forced my arm. At least we got some good profit out of it. We have sold Pedro de la Vega to Valladolid in the Spanish La Liga for £13.4 million. Didn't want to sell him, but let's go and get ourselves potentially a new right midfielder. We have got our man here. It is Hakon Evjen, the Norwegian winger, coming across from AZ Alkmaar, another joining. I mean, isn't our goalkeeper, our original goalkeeper, not our current one, isn't he from AZ originally? So linking back up with him, £9.8 million. So there we go, right winger for right winger in this January transfer window. Hopefully Evjen can kick on where De La Vega left off and help us with our push, potential push, hopeful push for promotion to the Bundesliga. There it is, lads. We didn't win the league, but we have successfully fought our way back up to the Bundesliga, joining Stuttgart in the Bundesliga for season number 3. We've gone from relegation battlers to second place and promoted, which is definitely a very impressive 12 months there. And down the bottom of the table, Braunschweig Regensburg automatically relegates with Unterhaching in the playoff game. Borussia Dortmund do go on and win the DFB Pokal. Hamburg have survived relegation, defeating Bielefeld. Osnabrück have made their way back up to the second division. Man City have won the Champions League 1-0 over Atletico Madrid. And Leverkusen, another German side, winning the Europa League. So an extremely successful season number 2 here in charge of St.PAULI. I fully just forgot what club we were managing. That is a brain fade. You can probably see the gears turning in my head, but let's crack on now with season number 3. We have decided to part ways here with Sofiane Diop. I wanted him to be a little bit better than he was. He hasn't grown in comparison to the rest of the side, so we're going to look to make a big upgrade at the left mid spot this season, and Sofiane Diop is not in the plans. Off to Getafe for £12.8 million. We have also decided to sell our Dutch goalkeeper Jasper Schendelaar for £8.2 million to Salzburg, so a massive return on our initial investment, but still selling him here. I told you guys we were looking to make a massive upgrade at the left wing spot, and we have done just that. Martinelli joining us from Arsenal here. The young Brazilian wonder kid, just at age 20, signs for £20.6 million. You love to see it. I feel like I'm selling a lot of our initial starting lineup, but again, another player we've made a massive profit on. It is Al-Hassan Yusuf, headed to Cagliari for £12 million. I've sold so many players in these opening few seasons that we now have barely any reserves. So as you can see on the screen, we're going in for talks with a lot of regen free agents. The first one there, Vazquez Sobrinho, the right back from Brazil, signing on, and then Kamar Goodridge joining us as well. But a lot of players hopefully going to sign on and help fill our squad out for the entirety of the rebuild, really. Here we go, some more joining the side here. Crespo Rincon signing on, 5-year deal for him. 62 rated Spanish left back, one of the other players. And then as we scroll all the way back up here, we can see that Ben Pritchard, a young English centre back, signing on here. So that's another free agent signing, our 4th free agent of the season. They keep on coming, lads. We've got another player in here, York Iran Dust. I know it's Iran Dust, but Iran Dust from the country of Iran, signing on. And then Henry Goodridge, another Goodridge, joining us here. You might have seen that I was in talks with this man when we were going and signing those free agents, but Gedson Fernandez joining us from Benfica, £20 million. The Portuguese wonder kid is going to be a huge addition to our midfield. And there it is, potentially our final free agent signing, or one of our final ones, Marcel Cervantes, signing for a free deal. The Mexican winger or midfielder, 62 rated. Not going to light the world alight, that will set the world alight, but definitely a good player to have in the background. Selling on a few more of our older players once again here. Lucas Zander headed to Independiente for £2.25 million. And Henk Weimar, the Dutch striker, off to Fenerbahce for £2.8 million. So a very busy but a very necessary transfer window here. If we're going to survive relegation in the Bundesliga, we had to do some massive upgrades to the squad. £40 million spent, 30 million into the club, or 38 million into the club, so a lot of business there. But our squad definitely benefiting from it. Some upgrades still necessary in certain roles. I hope a lot of our players like Alachichi and Arp and Campbell and all these players can continue to grow this season, but it's going to be an interesting one. Let's see how our relegation dogfight is coming along come January 1st. Yep, we are exactly where I expected us to be. We are in the thick of things when it comes to the relegation battle. Thankfully, Stuttgart suck. Stuttgart have gone 0-17 with 0 points at the halfway point. That is quite concerning for them. Ourselves, Hamburg and Werder Bremen really fighting for that final spot of survival, but we need to pick things up here in the second half. We have decided to part ways with the Japanese winger Ryo Miyachi, headed to Brazil here. £970,000 for him. I've decided to make a massive upgrade here in the midfield. It is Oihan Sunset signing from Bilbao. £12.3 million for the Spaniard. Hopefully he can help shore our relegation survival. So there we go, Sunset into the club, Miyachi out of the club. I don't know if it's going to be enough to keep us up. We're going to have to go and simulate and find out. Ooh, dear lads, we are in the relegation playoff game. Hamburg and Stuttgart. Stuttgart got 1 point all season. That is atrocious. Hamburg and Stuttgart relegated. We weren't even close to teams like Augsburg and Werder Bremen, so oh dear, we're going to have to go through the relegation playoff. At the other end of the league though, Dortmund did win the league, 1 point ahead of Bayern, 2 points ahead of Leipzig. Dortmund did win the DFB Pokal. Oh, get in there lads, let's go. We have survived relegation by the skin of our teeth, taking down Hannover 96, 3-2 on aggregate. Liverpool win yet another Champions League title, and Tottenham have broken the German streak of Europa Leagues, taking down Roma 2-1. Our goal for this third season was survival in the Bundesliga. We have done that by the absolute skin of our teeth. Now we need to keep building. Let's see if we can go better in season number 4 with St. Pauli. Beginning season 4 with a player departure here. I wanted this guy to be more of a part of our team, but the team's outgrown him, honestly. Adir Alachichi headed to Bologna for £16 million. Same deal with Tyrese Campbell, headed to Ajax for £32.1 million, which ain't too bad for a 77 rated striker. And we have made a serious upgrade up front. Mateus Cunha, the Brazilian striker, coming across from Hertha Berlin. £32.4 million for him. We have decided to loan out Florian Carstens as well to Basel, and also loaned out Christian Conte to Fenerbahce. Luis Cordes is headed to Sivasspor in the Turkish league for $690,000, and Park Yi-young also out of the club, $500,000, half a milli for the Korean defender. Taking a massive move to upgrade our defense here. Another Brazilian into the side, Gabriel, joining us here for £20 million from Lille. I feel like we've signed a lot of Brazilians and a lot of Germans into this side. But there it is, that's the transfer window done and dusted. Cunha and Gabriel, 2 Brazilians in, 4 players out. Big improvements. Let's see if we're in the relegation battle again though. What's good? What it do? We're halfway through the season and we are not in the relegation battle. We're actually in 8th position, which is a big improvement. 25 points. We're 10 points away from potential Europa League football. I mean, it's looking tough, but this is much better than last season. We are going to make a massive pre-contract signing for the side here. Fabian is going to be joining us here at St. Pauli next season, signing on from Napoli on a free deal, 89 rated. He's really going to put us to that next level in the peak of his career. Oh, how good is that going to be? Welcome in season number 5 to St. Pauli, Fabian. Fabian. No real surprise though that our only signing has been to bring in Fabian for next season. Regardless though, he is going to be insane. Let's see what sort of a situation and what sort of a side he is walking into as we conclude season 4. We weren't able to complete the pull. We weren't able to pull off the crazy comeback and we weren't able to get Europa League football. We've actually had a pretty poor second half of the season in all honesty, finishing in 10th position. Not even close to that 9th or 8th position, but 10th is much better than the relegation playoff. Dortmund winning yet another Bundesliga title, however. Heidenheim and Augsburg both relegated with Union Berlin in the position we were last year. Bayern Munich take down Wolfsburg to win the DFB Pokal. Stuttgart have won the relegation match, making their way back up to the Bundesliga. Atletico Madrid finally take down Liverpool and win the Europa League, or the Champions League I should say. Monaco have won the Europa League. Just quickly lads, I want to show you guys how the squad is progressing. I'm just going to quickly flick through it. If there's a player that you want to look at more inclusively, then make sure you hit that pause button and take a look, but keeping you guys up to date. But that is how season number 4 is going to end here with FC St. Pauli. Getting there. We are definitely getting there. Our squad is turning into quite a nice team, but now we need to take that next jump in season 5. Fabian into the side. Let's see what we can do. Diakite has left us here to kick off season number 5. £30 million is what we've managed to get from Sevilla for his service. And another player loaned out here, Marcel Cervantes, is headed to Feyenoord for the next 12 months. Signing another free agent player here. I didn't really want to sign any free agent players, but this guy looks quite good in all honesty. Kenji Van Belegu, the French striker, joining us here on a free deal. And we have decided to send Oihan Sunset straight back to the Spanish La Liga, £31 million for him though, which is a big profit. Another free agent coming into the side, Jose Segura, the Ecuadorian centre forward, joining us. Another improvement to the side, and another Brazilian joining the side. We've now got 2 Brazilian defenders. Eder Militao signing for £66.1 million from Bayer Leverkusen. Ramselaar, the Dutch defensive midfielder, another player helping us build out the depth of the squad, joining us here on a free deal. And then more players joining us here. The first guy, Marko Rajkovic, is joining us here. He is Serbian, I believe. Yeah, Serbian defender. But he's not the one I want to point out. I'm going to accept his deal. This guy here, Nerias, we scroll back up to him. Look at that! 75 rated at age 19. This might be Hugo Lloris's regen. And as you guys can see, Gregory, I don't even know. Golovin, I'm just going to call him the Russian striker, joining us on a free as well. So another very busy transfer window here at St. Pauli. £66 million worth of talent into the side. That's a quick look at our starting 11. The players growing at a rapid pace thanks to dynamic player potential. We've got to be making a push for European football, surely. That's not as good as I would have hoped. I mean, considering how good our team is on paper, to be sitting 9th in the league at the halfway point isn't incredible. The silver lining, I should say, is the fact that we're only 6 points away from 4th placed Hoffenheim. But still, I would have liked being in the top 4 at this point, or at least pushing for top 4. Not this far down. We have decided to part ways with Ethan and Pardew. I said at the start of the video that I wanted to make him a player for us throughout the entirety, but again, just like a lot of our initial players, he's just been outgrown by the rest of the side. So the Welshman headed to Watford for £23.2 million. We have splashed the cash for a new man in between the sticks. Louis Maximiano is joining us here. £40 million for the Portuguese goalkeeper. 84 rated, coming across from Villarreal. Very, very excited to see what we can do with him in the remainder of the rebuild. So there we go, Maximiano into the club and Mpardu out of it. Definitely a worthy improvement to the squad. Quickly having a look at the squad there. So everybody growing quite nicely. Everybody into the low to mid 80s. So surely that's got to help us get Europa League football. Europa League football, I believe it is. I don't think finishing 5th in the Bundesliga gets you Champions League, but we have had a fantastic second half of the season, finishing in 5th, ahead of Bayern Munich and Leverkusen, which is surprising. Dortmund, another Bundesliga title though. Again, Hamburg and Stuttgart straight back up and straight back down. Maybe Hanover straight back down as well. Bayern Munich have won the DFB Pokal, however. Hanover staying up in the Bundesliga, defeating Darmstadt 3-0 on aggregate. Barcelona stopping Atletico Madrid from going back-to-back in the Champions League. Inter winning an all-Italian Europa League final on pens. And that is how we are going to conclude this 5th season here at St. Pauli. Absolutely flying by. But our squad, it's looking pretty sexy, I'm not going to lie. Let's crack on with the 6th season. Our 6th season at St. Pauli begins with a massive player departure. We have sold Evian, the Norwegian winger, to Real Betis for £110 million. We can now go and buy someone that has serious talent for our squad. We have also decided to part ways with our goalkeeper, Florian Müller. Look at that, £75.9 million. I'll tell you guys what, dynamic player potential and everything that has come because of it might be the best thing that's happened to FIFA career mode in the past half decade. I mean, that's a pretty easy statement to say when nothing good has happened to career mode besides dynamic player potentials. We have gone off and bought ourselves Kai Havertz here, the German wonder kid, and now at this point of the career mode, German superstar, signing from Real Madrid here, £103.5 million. He is 95 rated, or sorry, 93 rated, and he's going to be playing at the right mid position. The man himself, York Iran Dust, is headed to Stoke City on a season-long loan. I'm surprised he didn't go to York City. We've also decided to send Vazquez Sabrino on a 1-year loan move to San Lorenzo. Our Ukrainian striker, Boris Tachi, is headed to Sint Truiden, who I believe are from the Belgian league, for £850,000. So there we go. That is the transfer window done and dusted. Just the one signing of Kai Havertz. Sold a fair few players, but the good thing is we have a bit of money to work with now in January. So let's go see what sort of a position we are in come January. Also, just quickly, here's a little look at how our squad is coming along. So it's a pretty balanced side, I'm not going to lie. I expect players like Arp, Martinelli, Argu, Wagnerman, all these sorts of players to just explode in overall in the next few seasons. That's not the best in the world. Halfway through the season, on the 1st of January, we find ourselves in 8th position, 28 points. I want to be making a push for Champions League qualification now, so that is not a desirable start. The good thing though, we're only 7 points behind Frankfurt. Might be a little premature, but I'm starting to think about what we can do if we make the Champions League, and I feel like once we do make the Champions League, we could actually have a good chance of winning it first time around. So I want to improve our reserves a little bit, improve our stocks, because we've got a really strong starting 11, but a very weak bench. So we've brought in a backup striker, Jose Juan Macias, the Mexican striker, signing here from Everton for £44 million. Also decided to bring in Pedro Gonçalves, who's good enough to be in our starting 11 almost. The Portuguese midfielder had a £23 million release clause, so we have happily activated that here. And another reserve player, Alessandro Bastoni, coming across here from Hertha Berlin for £36.8 million. Kevin Langford is off on a season-long move here, loan move. And yeah, that's going to conclude our January transfer window. Definitely improving our stocks in terms of defense and in terms of backups, really. So Macias, Gonçalves, and Bastoni into the club. Nobody out, but now, the big question. We need to qualify for Champions League football. Champions League football is coming to St. Pauli in what will be the 7th season. We've finished in 4th position. Had a very good second half of the season, almost knocked off Borussia Dortmund. but it's Leverkusen winning the league. I don't care who wins the league because we have made Champions League. In the relegation battle, it is going to be Augsburg, Hanover automatically relegated with Union Berlin in the playoff game. We have also managed to take down Frankfurt and win the DFB Pokal. That is beautiful. Union Berlin survive relegation, however, taking down Darmstadt 2-1. Barcelona do win an all-Spanish Champions League final. And Chelsea, they have taken down Lyon to win the Europa League. But we have done exactly what we were after, and that is a spot in next season's Champions League tournament. So, here's the hoping we can go on a good run, potentially even win the damn thing. Season 7 is going to see us sign a reserve left back, Maximilian Mittelstadt. He's coming across from Hertha Berlin for £29.8 million. Bit more German flavour in this squad is necessary. And a reserve left winger here, Jovan Cabral. I'm not sure what nationality he is in all. Oh, Cape Verde, I believe. I just saw that on the right hand side. So Cape Verde, no idea that was that flag, but regardless, he's coming across from Marseille. Samuel Kalou, I just keep thinking Solomon Kalou here, but regardless, Samuel Kalou is coming across for £34.9 million from Nice. That's a nice transfer. So there it is, once again, trying to improve the depth of the squad and really make our team bulletproof if we get any injuries, any suspensions in the Champions League. I'm thinking with a winning mentality here. Again, a look at our starting 11 and our bench. You can see how much stronger our bench is now. So I'm really excited about the season ahead. And of course, this is our first group that we have in the Champions League for this St. Pauli rebuild. It is Manchester City, Salzburg, and Shakhtar Donetsk. So I would say it's going to be a battle between ourselves and City to get into the knockout rounds. Salzburg definitely could cause us problems. Same thing with Shakhtar Donetsk. But let's just go and find out how we go and if we get into the knockout rounds in 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay. I'll take that. 6 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses. We beat Man City both times we played them. And we are through to the round of 16 of the Champions League in absolutely scintillating fashion. That is brilliant. It is a big challenge for us, however. In the round of 16, we're versing Manchester United. Things are going according to plan, however, in the Bundesliga. Of course, our goal now that we've made the Champions League once, we just need to qualify season after season after season until we eventually win this rebuild, if we ever win it. But we are currently undefeated in the Bundesliga. No real surprises that I have done zero business here in the January transfer window. I love the team that we have. I want to see how well we can go in the Champions League this season. So, Man United, we're coming for you. Oh, here we go, lads. Away at Old Trafford for the first leg of the Champions League round of 16. Very nervous. No Arp as well. He's injured for this first leg, and it's a 2-0 win. Oh, that's a big pressure off my chest. Cunha and Macias getting goals there. 2 massive away goals. 2-0 up, 2 away goals. Come on, lads. We just need to make sure we hold on here in the home leg against Manchester United and get ourselves through to the quarterfinals, up back into the starting 11, and the scoreline is a 2-1 win. Fabian and argue with yellow cards though, which makes me kind of nervous, but we're through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League here in Season 7. Things just don't get any easier for us, however. In the quarterfinals, we have been matched up against PSG. And at this point, if they've kept a hold of Mbappe, he's got to be like 95, 96 rated by this point. So that's a daunting prospect. Grabbing our passports, heading to the Parc des Princes for the first leg of the quarterfinals here. Looking to get away goals on the board once again. Come on, lads. The scoreline is a 1-1 draw. Not the best, not the worst. We have an away goal. Fernandez getting the goal. Hopefully with Fabian coming back in the second leg, we'll be a little bit stronger. Okay, it all hangs in the balance here, fellas. The second leg, at home. We're in Germany. As simple as this, is that we keep a clean sheet, we go through an away goals rule. But that is easier said than done. The scoreline is a 2-0 win! How easy was that? Martinelli and Cunha getting the goals, and we go through to the semis 3-1 on aggregate. It is crunch time, lads, and we have a very, very daunting proposition and a prospect in front of us. If we thought Man United and PSG were worrying, it's now the big boys. It's Barcelona in the semis. Okay, it's time for the first leg here. Away again, which is always good to see, but we travel to the Camp Nou looking for away goals. Away goals are the biggest thing we need. Come on, lads. St.PAULI versus Barcelona. Who's going to have the advantage heading into the second leg? It's Barcelona. Guiri and Dembele getting them goals. We're 2-0 down, no away goals. All right, lads, we're going to have to be near perfect here in the second leg. We are 2-0 down. Kai Havertz, I need you to step up, my man. We can't let them score. We need a big win at home. Come on, St.PAULI! 1-0 loss. We're out the semi-finals. We're going to have to go to an 8th season. Barcelona humbling us and giving us a reality check. A 3-0 loss in the semi-finals. So here we are at the end of the season. Just the one loss in the Bundesliga this season. Couldn't go invincible, but I don't care because we have qualified for Season 8's Champions League. And hopefully we can go one step better or two steps better. Make the final and win the final in Season 8. But we win the Bundesliga for the first time ever. Hamburg and Stuttgart both relegated with FC Cologne in the relegation playoff game. We couldn't go back-to-back in the DFB Pokal, unfortunately. Borussia Dortmund winning it this year. FC Cologne have stayed in the Bundesliga, taking down Heidenheim 4-4 and winning on away goals rule. We did win the Super Cup at the start of the season, however, taking down Leverkusen 3-2. If it makes us feel any better, lads, Barcelona won the Champions League. They beat Man City, who was the side that we wiped the floor with in the group stages. So that gives me a bit of confidence heading into next season. And Lazio won an all-Italian Europa League final. Lads, I thought Season 7 was going to be the one, but unfortunately, we're going to have to wait at least one more year here. Let's crack on with Season 8. Let's go and make some upgrades, and let's push for an elusive Champions League title. Alright, so I said to myself last season, I was like, if we don't manage to win the Champions League in Season 8 or Season 7, whatever season we bloody are in now, I'm losing track, I've been recording for that long. But I said, Fabian was he's turning 29, 30 this year. So I thought, alright, we're going to have to go and upgrade the centre midfield spot big time. And we have done just that, bringing in Sandro Tonali here. We have signed him from Wolfsburg for £105 million. And believe it or not, that's the only business I've decided to do here in the opening window for season number 8. Tonali into the club, taking our squad, an already impressive squad, to a new level. Again, giving you guys a little look at the squad. Virtually half our starting 11 now is 90 rated, or at least probably going to hit 90 this season. It's a pretty bloody cooked side, I'm not going to lie. An interesting group here. Group E for the Champions League this season. We've got Roma, Benfica, and Spartak Moscow. So again, interesting to see if we can take these three down, but we'll see how we go in 3, 2, 1. Not as good as last year. I mean, still, I'm not complaining at all. We've made it through to the knockout rounds, but we couldn't go undefeated in an easier group, I would say. Roma topped the group. We finished second here on 13 points, but we're still back in the round of 16. And this year in the round of 16, we are facing Inter Milan. Halfway through the Bundesliga season, it is a much tighter title race. Just the 3 points between ourselves and 4th place Wolfsburg. So we're going to have to be on top of our game here if we want to make Champions League football next season again. I think you guys already knew that this was coming, but no business done here in the January transfer window. I am in love with this St.PAULI team that we've built. It might be one of my favorite teams that I've ever put together in the rebuilds. And I want to see it do damage. So here we go, lads. It is the last 16. We're taking on Inter Milan, the away, or the home leg, I should say, up first, which I'm not a huge fan of. But how are we going to go? We've got Cunha out through injury, but it doesn't stop us from taking a 2-1 lead. The worrying thing, though, Felipe Anderson getting Inter an away goal. So that Felipe Anderson away goal leaves me a little bit worried, because if they manage to get themselves a 1-0 win, we're in strife. Macias still in for Cunha, who is out with injury, but we go through. Let's go. I saw 1-0 there and got a little bit worried. I had a mini heart attack when I saw 1-0, thinking that we'd been eliminated, but St.PAULI are through to the quarters again. It is a tough opponent here. Things getting serious at this point. We are facing Atletico Madrid in the quarterfinals. They always have a good side in career mode. João Felix would be a weapon right now. Come on, lads, let's take them down and get back to the semis, please. Okay, the away leg up first, which is a good sign. Big fan of the away leg. We've got Cunha back into the starting 11. Come on, lads. The scoreline after the first leg is a 2-1 loss. Right. 2-1 loss. Right. I'm honestly going to be a little bit disappointed if we get eliminated here in the quarters. The one great saving grace is that we have an away goal to our name. Come on, lads. Getting straight into it, the scoreline. A 1-0 win. Oh, yes. We did exactly what I thought Inter were going to do to us in the last game, but we are back to the Champions League semi-finals. Champions League semi-final time. Would have really loved to face Barcelona here. That would have felt like everything had come full circle, but we are facing Napoli for a spot in the Champions League final to take on either Man City or Barcelona. Come on, St.PAULI. This is where we fell down last season. Let's step up like men and get to the next level. Okay, away, traveling to beautiful, sunny Naples for the away leg here. Come on, a strong start necessary. The scoreline after the first leg is a 1-1 draw. I don't know how I feel about that. 1-1, we have an away goal, but so we keep a clean sheet. We go through to the Champions League final, but this is in the balance here. The home leg, surely. Come on, St.PAULI. We do it. We are through to the Champions League final. 3-2 in this second leg, so it's 4-3 on aggregate. Havertz stepping up once again. Let's go. Unfortunately, we don't get a shot at Barcelona. They have been dismantled by Manchester City, and we are now facing the citizens in the Champions League final here in this 8th season. Taking a look around the other competitions, Borussia Dortmund winning the Europa League once again. We go back-to-back in the Bundesliga, getting our act together in the second half of the season and finishing 5 points clear at the top of the table. So we will be playing Champions League football in Season 9 if we can't take down Manchester City tonight. Cologne survived relegation last season, but this season they have bit the dust. They are heading down to the second division alongside Union Berlin. We could not get our hands on another DFB Pokal title, losing to Dortmund in the final. The promotion playoff game, the relegation game, hasn't been decided yet, but we have managed to go back-to-back 2 Super Cups in a row. 1-0 win over Borussia Dortmund in that aspect. So here we go, lads. A look at our squad report here. That guy there, that Neri guy, has turned into an absolute weapon. If we don't win this season, I honestly might get rid of Maximiano and make Neri our #1 goalkeeper. But we have put together an absolutely cooked starting 11 here, and it's a cooked side. I said it, I think, at the start of this season or at the end of last season, but I love this team, and it might be one of the best sides in terms of having high-rated players everywhere that we've ever had in a rebuild. You saw just before, Havertz is a 95, Martinelli's up to an 89 at age 25. It's just a dumb good side. Cunha has exceeded his potential. Jan Fiet up to a 90 overall. What a team we have put on the park, but now it's a big question of whether they can get it done in the Champions League final. It's the corporation of the City Football Group versus the heart and soul of St. Pauli. Let's see if we can become Champions League winners. Got to play nice and calm here. City are playing a very high-tempo pressure game in defense, so I've got to wait for them to overcommit like they've done there. Jean-Fiat up, one-on-one. What a save, though, from Edison. We could have had the lead 20 minutes into this game. Let's look at this on the replay. It was a beautiful ball through. That's a great save from the Brazilian shot stopper. City pushing forward through here with Bernardo Silva. Joaquin Correa going there. They're passing it around. They're speeding. They hit the post. Clear it. Oh, my God. City playing that one there. They've got it through to Raheem Sterling. Wagnerman, I just need to jockey Raheem Sterling. They go to Correa. Don't let him get a shooting angle. He shoots anyway. Save from Maximiano. Agu cleared away. Good stuff. Potential counterattack opening up here. Just need to find a good run here. We're going to go down the line to Kai Havertz. He's got the pace to get past a lot. I'm seeing that run coming in from up. Square it up. Square it up. There it is! Jean-Fiat up, our German superstar, has put us into the lead here. What a brilliant counter-attack. City's intensity has gone up so much in the last few moments. Oh, we can't lunge in like that. Jockey. Saved! Clear it! Oh my God! We couldn't hold onto the lead for long, could we? That's all because I lunged in, man. That's a very, very frustrating goal to concede. Just wasn't paying attention after taking the lead. And it's cost us. Game on again. City with the throw in. They've really turned up the intensity since they got that equaliser. Can't let Sane play it. Just get it away. That's a weak header, Sane. Putting it wide, thankfully. Oh, come on. Late winner, please. Make it a famous winner. Up, through, Fernandez! Gets it, Fernandez! Oh, he's hit the crossbar! Oh, no! There it is, lads. We're headed for 30 more minutes here. We had our opportunities, but we've got to go to extra time against Man City. Can't let City get the opening opportunity here. Come on. Big tackle from Gabriel. Come on. Martinelli to Tonale. Looking for a good run there. Sliding. Good. It's Cunha. Sliding past the defense. He scores it! Matheus Cunha, the Brazilian striker, firing us into the lead here in the 103rd minute. I love those ones where the striker just slips the back line. You play it through as cool as a cucumber. It's just got to maintain possession here. Don't push anything. Just wind down the clock. Or you could slide it in behind like that. Kai Havertz shoots it, scores it, we're going to win the Champions League final! Let's go! King Kai has done it! Oh, the celebration! St. Pauli are going to be champions of Europe in the most dramatic of situations. Let's go! There it is, lads. The referee has blown the full-time whistle. And that is the FC St. Pauli rebuild complete. What a rebuild it was. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like on the video. Subscribe down below if you're new around here. What a rebuild. I'll let you guys save these title celebrations because I know I certainly will be. It's been Jared HD here. I am out. Peace.